play it, but this time he played it. It was a thrill.
This is also on our album. Now come on, Rides Again.
So what was your father's name?
Well, his name was Miron, but they used to call him George. He used to work with Jordan Marsh. In fact, when television first came out, he took me into Jordan Marsh, and the only song that I knew on clarinet, I was just a kid, I was probably 9.5 or 10 years old. The only song I knew was God Bless America. When I think of it now. He took me into Jordan Marsh and put me on television. And It was on the street floor. I remember they had these cameras all set up, and you could see the TV monitors someplace else. But whatever you did, they recorded. It was on a little round disc. And I still have that disc, but I have nothing to play it on. And I want to hear it, you know. And it was God Bless America, because that's the only thing I knew how to play.
Jesse Marucho was my brother Vaughn's favorite number. And I want to dedicate it to him. Wherever he is, I'm sure he's looking down, listening. So Vaughn, this is for you.
He's a great guy. He's been a good friend for all these years. He's done a lot for me personally as well as musically. He's the godfather of my daughter. He and Cynthia are my daughter's godparents. I can't say enough. Cynthia and Artie and the entire Barsamian family has really been wonderful to my wife and me and our family, and love to all of you.
Because that you all insisted, we're going to do one more number, and this one is a great, this is not the Artie Shaw version of Begin to Begin. This is a better one. This version is Ted Heath, the English band, but they did a great job on this drum. Begin to Begin. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that one.
The most memorable thing? Washington, D.C., Smithsonian Institute. Somebody came to my house and wanted to interview me from Washington because that year they were having the folk festival on the Washington Mall. And so they came to my house and this guy interviewed me. There was a man and a woman, and they were asking me everything about my career, my music, and so then when this whole interview was over, I said to her, I said, how come, I mean, there's so many Armenian bands in the country. I said, how come you chose me to interview me? He said, well, we did a survey, and we found that 80% of the Armenian homes in the United States have at least one of your albums. And I said, wow, you know. So we'd like you to represent Armenian music on the Washington Mall for 1 week, every afternoon, to play for 1 hour. And so I took the band to Washington. They put us up at Georgetown University, and we spent the whole week there. Every afternoon we played, go on for an hour, do an hour show, and then that was it for the day. And then we'd go around Washington, you know, sightseeing the rest of the time. That was about the most memorable one.
And who's this picture just to the side of you?
That's my brother.
Do you want to talk about
He
him?
was, yeah. Well, he was in the band. He was the original band before the original band started. I mean, there was the band with my father, him and I, and my uncle's son. And then when I went on the road, that disbanded. And then when I came back, it started with my father, him and I, and then I augmented the band with different instrumentations, and no matter what I did, that he was there with me, you know. And the final decision that I made when the Armenian band was going to be the band that I wanted was Vaughn, Mal, and Saki was the rhythm section. Vaughn played tambourine on the snare drum. Saki played conga drum, Mal played djembe. And those three guys, the rhythm section, they could go into any affair and I wouldn't even blow a note. And those three guys could start a rhythm and have everybody dancing and not a note of music playing. This is how these guys played when they played together. And there's, I could honestly say, not that I'm prejudiced, but no other band has that ability. I mean, not that I will have it again, because I don't have these guys anymore. They're not with us. But I feel proud that I accomplished that. These are the guys that were with me when we put Armenian music on the map. And when the Seventh Veil Band recorded its first album, it stimulated the Armenian people, Armenian youth, more than anything, because you would see all the young Armenian kids going out, buying djembes, buying ouds. They were just so excited, and everybody would buy the Veil album just to learn from it. You know, it was just amazing that each album we did, these young kids would just, this is all they would play, what they heard on these albums. And it wasn't like the authentic Armenian music you would hear at a picnic. It was altogether different, and they were using, with the conventional Armenian drum, what they call a djembe. But what I did, at the time I used to work in Wurlitzer Music Company, and I was looking for the sound I was looking for. I hadn't found the drum yet. So I finally, through the store, found a cocktail drum made by the Vesper Drum Company that went out of business. But the sound of this drum was the sound that I was looking for. So the first time I took the band out, one of the guys playing this cocktail drum with his hands. Usually they use brushes on it, you know, if you're in a lounge or something. But he playing this by hand, and he was getting the sound out of it that I wanted. Within 2 months, or 3 months, every Armenian band that was around had a cocktail drum. Nobody ever knew what it was or where it came from until they saw our band with it. And everybody was coming up, where'd you get that drum? You know, what kind of a drum is it? And that, before you know it, everybody was using it.
Was there someone with one of those last night?
Huh?
Did you have one of those last night?
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, my brother, my younger brother was playing it. Yeah, and one of the fellows that played last night was one of the original members of the Seventh Veil Band. Oh, this guy here, this is my brother. And he was like a main factor in the Armenian band. And he was like the PR man. He became more the PR man than one of the musicians in the band, but he was so funny. I remember one time, in fact, it was the first time we got booked after the Seventh Veil album came out, we got booked in Chicago. And at that time, you know, you'd drive, planes were not jets and they were prop jobs. And we had a couple of cars and we loaded everything on, off we went to Chicago. And so this is our opening night in Chicago, and it was like a named band come in town. We were playing a great big ballroom and there were hundreds of people there, and they all had the album, you know, I mean, prior sales, and they're all crowding around the bandstand, you know, looking up at us like we were from outer space or something. But anyway, we played the first set and we took a break. And so all the people are coming up. Some people had albums they wanted the guys to autograph and this and that. So then it was time to go back. So the band is up on the bandstand, and I'm saying, where's Vaughn? So we're looking for Vaughn. Nobody could find Vaughn. And so I announced on the microphone, I said, if Vaughn Barsamian is in the audience, would he please come to the bandstand? And then we heard a big, loud crowd noise yelling down at the bar. Vaughn is down at the bar. There must have been 15 girls around him, you know. It was like Sinatra was in town, you know, but he was a personality. He had that personality. He would just draw the people to him, and which was good. It was good PR for the band too, you know. And every place that we went, Vaughn knew everybody. You know, everybody was Vaughn's friend, and it was such an asset to just having him around, you know. And I always just say, Vaughn, spend more time on the bandstand. But anyway, Vaughn did what Vaughn wanted to do, but, you know, we loved him anyway. So that's this guy here. And we all miss him.
Dad was a violinist.
My father played violin, yeah. But he played violin, he just played Armenian music, and this was his first love.
So who's this?
Huh?
Who are you talking about?
My father. And the reason he used to teach me this, and the reason I went along with it, to be honest with you, at that point in my life, I was like 15 years old, and I knew all the Armenian music that he was teaching me. At 16 years old,